Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Ariel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And it is evening. It is nighttime. It is actually, hold on. It is 9:56 p.m. to be exact, okay? And I just got into my hotel. Why am I talking to y'all now? Well, let's rewind, okay? Let's go back to yesterday, okay? So today is day one of my reserve block. If you've been around here and like 3 videos back, maybe, and I said, was this the right move? What I was talking about was Nashville the right move? Because once again, I went through the debacle of having to commute from Atlanta to Nashville. I don't know what was going on in Atlanta or Nashville this weekend that made the flights look the way they did. But listen, there's only 2 airlines that fly Atlanta to Nashville, and we fly 1 to 2 flights a day. That other airline does like 5 or 6 a day. Every single flight that day was oversold. Every single flight, every single flight, every single flight. Granted, it's a Monday. A lot of people do travel on Mondays. They're getting back to where they need to be. The event, whatever event, I don't know if there was something going in Atlanta and people trying to get back to Nashville, people trying to get to Nashville. I don't know. Don't ask me. On our own airline, I looked up the flight, and the flight I wanted to get on, the afternoon flight, it had 14 seats left, 11 employees, and 4 others. Now, others are parents, people on buddy passes, employees from other airlines, but obviously employees get first priority. So I was like, okay, well, if there's 14 seats, there's 11 already listed, I'll get on. I look a little bit later, the flight now on us has 0 seats, 16 employees, and 7 others. This is where having a commuter policy is very handy. Now at my regional, we didn't have a commuter policy. They, I guess, expected you to live in base, like to pick up and move. They really didn't believe in commuting. They couldn't have, because there was no commuter policy. There was this emergency call you could use, but it's not the same, and you have a limited amount of them. Crazy. We can use it endlessly because there's stipulations and rules to it anyway. The way our commuter policy works, if we are flying on our own metal, then you only have to do 1 attempt. Now, nobody else has that, okay? Everybody else has to do 2 attempts. I be telling y'all, there's things I really like about here. You know, and you don't know till you're here. You don't know until you know, but this commuter policy really is clutch, okay? Now, if you fly on another metal, then you have to do 2 attempts. But if it's our metal, 1 attempt, you have to list and present. That means you have to list for the flight, and you do have to go to the airport, be at the gate. Now, if every single seat is taken, it is sold out, and both or the single jump seat, all the jump seats, depending on what type of aircraft it is, are taken, and you are not cleared, once it pushes, the doors close and it pushes, you can call scheduling. Just say I have to use my commuter policy. Now, what happened this time that hasn't happened before is they put me on a long hold, which I really wasn't sure what that was about. When she came back to the line, she was like, oh, I was just verifying that the flight had pushed and all the jump seats were full. And I have no problem with them verifying. If y'all only knew the struggle we are in to get from Atlanta to Nashville. Okay, anyways. After that, I just went home. Mind you, that flight was like at 5 something. Now, what they also do is they advise you for your next flight. I think they have to advise you for the next nonstop. And like I said, that was the last one of that day. So the next one wasn't until 8 a.m. the next morning. So, you know, God works in mysterious ways, because that meant I did not have to get a hotel in Nashville that night, and I got to spend an extra night in my own bed. So I went home, went to sleep, got up in the morning, and the next flight, that 8 a.m. flight, had over 100 seats open. Over 100. How we go from sold out to over 100? I mean, I know it changes day to day, but anyways, I got a phone call around 10:30. Airport standby, of course, because anyways. Airport standby is like a commuter's nightmare. Am I the only one? Y'all feel that way? I don't know. I get there at 1. Airport standby is 5 hours, and it pays 6.5 hours. So 1 to 6 is my airport standby time. At 5:40 p.m., 20 minutes left in my airport standby, I receive a notification on my phone that says there's a change in my flight. I didn't know I had a flight, that my flight is delayed. Not even a minute later, the phone rings. And of course, it's for me. I got up the moment I heard it ring because I was like, it's for me. Don't even worry about it. Because they had just called up almost every other standby to board another flight. So they probably didn't even have a lot of choices anyway. Put a whole 3-day trip on my board with 20 minutes left in airport standby. Yeah. Now again, God works in mysterious ways. I said just now, if I hadn't been used, then again, I would be booking a hotel for tonight in Nashville, but instead I have a hotel here in Dallas. It is completely taken care of by the company because again, I am working now. So I hop on the flight. This is just a deadhead. I just had to deadhead to Dallas. That's all I did today was hop on a flight here to Dallas. I sat as a passenger. That's what it means to deadhead. I realize I'm staying in not a typical work hotel. Now, I think the weather is supposed to be crazy here or something because I just, to get to a whole nother part of this, which it's 27 degrees right now, it says it feels like 10. Are we okay? They sent me lift codes for my ride to and from because there's not like a sky hop, there's no airport shuttle. This hotel's like 20 minutes away from the airport. And y'all, they sent us black cars, which is cute, appreciated, thank you very much. But again, our transportation is supposed to be taken care of to and from our hotel and to work, which is the airport. It basically says your company sent you a Lyft ride. So you just click on it, you request it when you need it, the car pulls up. It was a black car. 20 minutes later, I'm at my hotel. It's like, I don't know if it's under me or my company or what. And so he was like, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. So we get that. And he was like, okay, so the room is paid for, but we need a card for incidentals. Y'all, if y'all never get anything from this video or any other video, never when you are working do you ever have to put a card down for incidentals. Period. So I was like, no, I don't. Because what are you talking about? That's actually crazy. I was like, yeah, by this email, the room is paid for, but we need a card for incidentals. I was like, I don't even have a card to put down with a straight face because that's not how this works. Now, to be fair, I wasn't rude about it. I was just like, I initially said we don't put one down when we're here for work. And he was like, yeah, well, this email says, and that's when I was like, I don't even have one. To be fair, he's just going and doing what he knows best because he probably doesn't deal with crews often. And actually, fun fact, I used to work at a hotel back in college that actually housed crews, which actually housed a SkyWest crew, which is so funny because I ended up working for them how many odd years later. He gives me the room key, anyways. And as I'm going up to my room, I'm calling our hotel and transportation line because we have a specific line just for hotel and transportation conversation, okay? So I called them and I was like, hey, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. I'm at the hotel. I am checked into the room now, but he said I need to put down a card for incidentals. I did not. As far as I'm aware, that is not something we have to do. I just want to clarify with you all to make sure that we're on the same page. You absolutely never put down a card for incidentals. We will contact them and let them know. This is not typically a hotel that we use, but because of the weather in Dallas, we had to put crew members into another hotel. They have to house us. They have to accommodate us. So they found a hotel. It's nothing to him. But I was like, so this don't blow back on me because that's always what it is. Let's make sure it doesn't blow back on me. Let's make sure we're on the same page because all of our calls are also recorded lines, okay? You have to be very purposeful sometimes. You do be careful what you say to crew scheduling, whatever you on the phone, because everything is recorded, just so y'all know. I know y'all know. If y'all work here, y'all know. Not even here, but like all the airlines, if you work in the industry, every phone call you ever have at work is recorded. Now, if you don't work here, now you know. Don't get on the phone scheduling, talking crazy, because they will play that back. Give me a lift code for tomorrow too. I have to be responsible for getting myself to the airport for my report time tomorrow, and I need to be very mindful of that. So let me figure that out, and I will talk to y'all probably in the morning. Good night. Good morning. We are on day 2 of this trip, and please explain to me why it says it feels like 1 degree. When I can't even use the S on the back of degrees because it's only 1, it's singular. Jesus be offense. Thank God I packed a coat for this trip. If you watch my last flight attendant vlog, you know, it was me and my cardigan against like 40-degree weather. Imagine me and my cardigan against 1-degree weather. Ain't no way. Today I have 3 legs. I'm working in the C position again, which if y'all know is my least favorite position, but we're here and we're going to do it, right? We have no choice. This is what happens when you are on reserve and you're sitting on standby and you get a trip in your lap. I just need a new bottle, just say that. Y'all saw just now in my last clip where I was getting ready for the shower this morning, I was checking my towels. I implore you to always check your towels. Just trust me. Always check your towels before you use them. You'll never not be happy you did. You might as well take the extra second. Trust me. I've been keeping up with the news and keeping up with my videos. Here comes the Delta Connection flight in Canada, which is genuinely a completely different situation. And shout out to those flight attendants because they got everybody off that plane and there were no casualties. With a crash that serious where the actual aircraft flipped over, those flight attendants literally worked upside down. They didn't work upside down, but they worked on an upside down plane, and shout out to them. Like, they deserve all the kudos, all the time off, whatever they need to get it, period. Okay. And even when I have these conversations with people that are in the industry, we're like, it's not new per se that these crashes are happening. Those were just very significant. And so yeah, they are getting news coverage. They are, you know, publicizing even more minor crashes a little more than usual, just because it's at the forefront of our attention right now. It's not to scare anyone. I think it's just a reality, and now news outlets are getting it out more. I mean, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, so I'm not gonna be like, yeah, they're trying to keep you from traveling and scaring you from getting on a plane, because y'all know I'm gonna get on a plane anyway. This has been happening, if we're being honest, especially around the world. Now, we might not see it as much in the States, but I mean, crashes do happen. I mean, there's thousands of flights a day, and a lot of them are much more minor, is my point, but this is not a fear-mongering tactic. Please, like I said in my last video, don't let what's going on in the world scare you from traveling or working or taking a plane. Do y'all hear that? Like, the hose or the pipes must be directly above my bedroom. Just finishing getting ready because I don't even know where my crew members are. Like, I don't know if they're starting here. I don't know if they overnighted here. I can't see any of that information. I have to use a lift that the company provided in order to get to the airport. So I have to be diligent about my own time. Okay, so I'm going to finish getting ready and I will talk to y'all in a bit. Shout out to my tan.
Too many times I ain't making I waited all my life. I know it's life, ain't always fair. Look, I've been focusing all my life.
Done. like a field trip of pilots on our plane right now. They're from our like tunnel filter whatever program. So they're learning things. Just so happens to be on our plane today. I'm the first flight attendant here. I got here early because, like I said, I was on the lift. I couldn't depend or blame on their ability to get me to work, so I was like, let me get here with more than enough time. So did that. I'm working in the C position as I mentioned earlier, so I'm gonna do my checks. I just put my bags away and wait on the crew, and we'll get heading off to St. Louis. The amount of times I say what is happening at work a day, I really should clock it one day. I really should track it, because honestly the last leg was fine, but a pipe, the fuel pump pipe, I don't know, one of them was frozen, so it took us a minute to get fuel on the last leg. Other than that, it was cool. The crew, cool. The pilots are cool. We're losing them on this leg into Tampa, and there's thunderstorms going into Tampa, so hopefully we're getting in and out of that fine. He already told us he's going to seat us early going in because of them. So there's that. If we get stuck in Tampa though, I'm okay with it, okay? Because let's see what the temperature is in Tampa. Right now I'm in St. Louis. It feels like 74. Let's get stuck there. Hello and good morning. It is finally the last day of this trip. I don't know why, for really, honestly and truly, as simple as this trip has been, it has just felt so long. And I didn't know where I was this morning. I thought I was in Dallas, but I'm actually in Austin. So yesterday was just a day full of such bad turbulence. I haven't experienced turbulence like that in a while, and that goes back to what I was saying a few videos ago, where I was like, maybe it was my last flight attendant vlog, and I was like, we have to save face in front of passengers, because even I was like, dang, we going through some serious turbulence. I know the passengers felt that way, especially in the back. So if you don't know, if you're not a flight attendant watching this, the turbulence is always worse in the back of the aircraft than in the front of the aircraft. And so the B flight attendant actually told us that like the passengers were screaming in the back on our second flight. Our second flight and our third flight had terrible turbulence, but I was in the front of the aircraft most of the time. I'm working C, so I work like the middle of the plane. So typically when I'm doing my drinks and stuff like that, I'm in the, y'all, and then I dropped a can of, child, hold on. I dropped a can of ginger ale yesterday, and it just like spinned and splattered all over the place, and I just picked up my boots and they were sticky, so I need to wipe these down now. Anywho, yeah, I worked the middle of the aircraft, so pilots for 1 and 2, very communicative, like made sure we were in the know, seated us early because we were going to Tampa. They were having terrible thunderstorms, and so by the time he sat us, like it was bad. Even it was kind of bad when I was still in the back, but by the time I was in the front, that's when it got bad, and I felt like it was bad in the front, so I can only imagine how bad it was in the back. I didn't get the worst of it, but during the third leg, that and I will sit down in a heartbeat, because like I'm not gonna wait for the captain to call back and say you need to be seated, because they can't feel exactly how it feels, especially all the way in the back of the aircraft. If my drinks are splashing and I'm not staying stable, I'm getting in my jump seat and I'm buckling up, because if I'm injured, how can I help any of my passengers? Anyways, after all that turbulence last night, I legitimately had a headache. So when I came in, I got some food from the restaurant downstairs, and I did sit down there. I didn't order it to go this time. It was my night. I got into bed early because today's even kind of a late report, but I got into bed early and went to sleep. So it's now 12:52. My van is at 1:10. The mission for this trip, because I straightened my hair just before this trip, was to not straighten it for the whole trip. So my little bangs are going in different directions, and we're just gonna let it live. I'm working one flight with this crew. I don't know where this trip was supposed to originate, because this is a Dallas crew that I'm with, and I'm Nashville based, as y'all know. And so they deadheaded me to Nashville on day 1. I'm now on day 3. The crew I'm working with, they're on day 2. They got assigned it this morning. They're both on reserve. And so I don't know if this was supposed to be a Nashville trip. I don't try to understand scheduling, and I'm sure they don't try to understand me. So it don't matter. But what I am about to do is call them, because I'm working one flight to Phoenix, and then they have me deadheading back to Nashville. And as we all know, I have no reason to go back to Nashville. So I need to waive that, and I need to fly home. So let's give scheduling a call. Hi, Ariel. I was trying to waive my deadhead from Phoenix to Nashville today. All right, thank you. I swear I learn something new all the time, because I've literally never heard that. So he didn't waive it, obviously, clearly, just now. Anyways, so we'll call them back again later. Look at me, think I'm about to show y'all something. Need to go downstairs. I set an alarm for 10 minutes prior to my van time to give me a reminder to go downstairs. Actually, let me finish getting dressed, because like I said, my alarm is about to go off. So I've never actually worn that coat. I always do the bubble coat because I don't really like the hood on this coat. It does have a zipper and it can be removed, but I don't know. The hoodie has become convenient during this go round because it's cold and you need something to cover your head. At least it's warmer than, or feels at least warmer than 1 degree today, so that is an improvement. It takes up more space. That's why I never, okay, button. Okay, we just don't want a button. Listen. And there goes my alarm. I've started changing all of my alarm tones from radial to journey because I feel like radial is just a little too aggressive. Could just be me, but I was like, I don't like waking up like this. Have one leg today. We are already delayed because there was a problem with the fuel pump for the last plane that was trying to get out at our gate, and so that held us up. So now we're gonna board soon and be out of here. And then I have like a little bit of a sit because my flight is like 2 hours after we finish, and so it just ate into it, so it's fine. It is whatever. So let's get boarding and let's get going.